suck. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at upcoming high-profile sequels that, for one reason or another, don't inspire confidence. As we know all too well, not every film that gets announced makes it to theaters, but if a sequel is on this list, it's at least actively in development as of 2018. Number 10, Jurassic World 3. When the Jurassic Park franchise got the revival treatment in 2015, it roared back into theaters with a vengeance. Sure, it felt like a bit of a retread of the original 1993 classic, but fans were mostly just happy about the return to this incredible world. Unfortunately, the second chapter in this sequel trilogy tried to expand that world in ways that didn't necessarily work. It made some bold moves, but left the third installment with almost too much material to work with. Considering the plot holes, cheesy dialogue, and uneven pacing of Fallen Kingdom, some fear that this franchise has become too unwieldy to successfully navigate its own narrative. Number 9, Sherlock Holmes 3.
You never complained about my methods before.
When Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law teamed up with director Guy Ritchie to give this updated, stylish take on the classic pairing of Sherlock Holmes and Watson, it felt fresh and exciting. Just 2 years later, we got a sequel, A Game of Shadows, which, despite bringing Holmes' nemesis Moriarty out of the shadows, fell short of its predecessor. With RDJ being so busy with the MCU, it seemed as if this franchise was dead, but a third installment is finally inbound. The question is, are people still interested in the Guy Ritchie version of this iconic character, or has Benedict Cumberbatch changed what audiences want from Sherlock Holmes? Only time will tell.
Oh, please, killing me. That's so 2 years ago.
Number 8, Kingsman 3.
This ain't that kind of movie, bruv.
Fox found themselves in a minor goldmine when they chose to adapt Mark Millar's Kingsman comics. Cinemas are overstuffed with superhero comic adaptations, but this story of modern secret agents quickly found its audience. The first film introduced a charming cast of characters, and the sequel expanded the mythology while still delivering quality action. Critics may have been less kind, but the fans were generally pleased. Crucial to the success of the franchise, however, has been the charisma of young star Taron Egerton, who sadly isn't returning for the third installment. Egerton has assured fans that he'll return for later sequels, but can the franchise survive an installment without him?
Not a doubt in my mind.
Number 7, Terminator 6.
I'll be back.
For many, James Cameron's involvement is reason enough to believe that this sixth installment will automatically be a return to form. There's no denying his personal track record. Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day are classics of the genre. The return of Linda Hamilton feels reminiscent of Jamie Lee Curtis's reunion with Michael Myers, which certainly managed to save that floundering property. Here's the thing though, Arnold is also coming back and we're starting to get a sense of deja vu. Don't get us wrong, Arnold will be the Terminator, but we were pumped for his return in Genesis 2, and look where that left us. Can Cameron redeem the franchise?
Why hold on to someone when you know you must let them go?
Number 6, Space Jam 2.
We gotta come together. We gotta believe in ourselves. We can come back and win this game.
Yeah, right, that's gonna help us.
If you were a kid when the original film came out, you were probably blissfully unaware of the fact that it was not well received by critics. Love it or hate it, Space Jam holds a special place in both the pop culture history books and the hearts of many. So the real question is not whether Space Jam 2 will be good, but rather if it can live up to the legacy of the original. LeBron James showed us he can act in Trainwreck, so we have little doubt that he can fill Michael Jordan's shoes. But considering how drastically animation has changed, we're just not sure that it can recapture the magic of the original.
You know that your friends are cartoon characters? Yeah, so?
Number 5, the Avatar sequels.
Everything is backwards now.
When James Cameron unleashed Avatar upon the world, it was unlike anything cinemagoers had ever seen. Audiences didn't know how to describe or classify what they just watched. People were clamoring for a sequel, but this is James Cameron we're talking about. And so he's been taking his sweet time delivering. Even by his slow-moving standards, however, the Avatar sequels have felt really long in the making, and the multiple release date delays haven't helped things. Some are worried that the Avatar franchise has turned into James Cameron's Chinese democracy, intended as a masterpiece but doomed to become an overwrought, bloated mess that was left too long in the creative oven. Here's hoping they're wrong.
I can hear them.
Number 4, Now You See Me 3.
The closer you think you are, the less you'll actually see.
The first Now You See Me was a convoluted but fun caper thriller with a magic twist. While there was something novel about seeing one-time boy wizard Daniel Radcliffe play a role in the sequel, the movie wasn't nearly as well received as its predecessor. Sure, it packed in even more twists and turns, but the big reveals lacked the wow factor of the first film. It still did well at the box office, but number 2 felt like the logical place to end the franchise. Apparently not. A third film is confirmed, but many worry that it will only double down on the mistakes of the second.
Ta-da!
Number 3, Top Gun: Maverick.
I feel the need for speed.
Top Gun is a unique film. It's both beloved and frequently parodied in ways that only an 80s flick about fighter pilots can be. A perfectly over-the-top and unself-conscious cool guy movie, it became emblematic of the decade. But what place is there for Top Gun in the modern age? That sort of overblown competitive machismo feels out of place in any film outside of the Expendables franchise. In this sequel, Tom Cruise returns as Maverick, and Miles Teller joins him as the son of Goose. Nostalgia can only carry the film so far, though, and we worry about how Maverick fits into the modern world.
That's classified.
Number 2, Suicide Squad 2.
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
Despite critics tearing it apart, Suicide Squad did very well at the box office. Warner Brothers was anxious to get a sequel out, but that's proven easier said than done. The film has gone through numerous directors, and the projected 2017 shooting date quickly came and went. Most recently, Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn has been tapped to write the sequel, and is rumored to be doing it with an eye to direct. Considering the film's troubled development history thus far, we take this with a grain of salt. Also, while Gunn's MCU work was excellent, not everything he's written has been of comparable quality.
Tromeo!
Wherefore art thou, Tromeo?
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable, or depending how they turn out, dishonorable mentions.
Don't do this.
They're right to fear me.
Wow. It's such a shame when you create something and someone just destroys it.
Number 1, Indiana Jones 5. Can a franchise return to form after nuking the fridge? We have our doubts. In 2016, it was announced that all parties, including Harrison Ford, were game to make a 5th Indiana Jones film. Though first scheduled for a 2019 release, it's since been pushed back to 2021. We'd love to believe that this 5th installment can redeem the franchise by polishing off the tarnish left by the 4th, but considering Spielberg was reportedly happy with the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, we have no reason to believe that this sequel will be course correction, and we'd rather get nothing than more of what the 4th film had to offer.
Brutal couple of years, huh, Charlie?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.